Hey guys, Jeanette again from All Things Natural here in Middle Tennessee. Today I'm going to be showing you how I feed my dogs the raw meat diet. This is something that we started over 12 years ago with our dogs. We started it because one of our dogs got very, very sick and he passed away from kidney failure. And through that process, of course, through the grieving and learning everything, I was trying to figure out what went wrong, and then we had gotten a Siberian Husky, Sugar, and she was very sick when she was small. It was basically a rescue from a puppy mill. She constantly had diarrhea, constantly had kennel cough. We honestly didn't know if she was going to make it. So here I've included some of her vet bills and their summaries of her visits. So this was one of them that clearly states that the patient, Pia's patient, is having diarrhea and that she also has had it since we've had her. We put her on all this medication that they were giving us and that she still had no changes in her stools. They also, if you look, they state that she's not very energetic for a 6-month-old husky. So you can see that they were prescribing her the kibble that you have to have a prescription for, Science Diet, and then she also had all this other medication, all these tests. So as you can see, our bill for that one day was over $300. On this visit, you can see that they've clearly labeled a suspect food allergy and a dietary intolerance. She was still having diarrhea, says for most of her life. It goes on to state that we were feeding her the sensitive egg and rice formula, the kibble, and so you can see that we're back again for diarrhea. This visit cost us over $200. We still had to get some more tests done. We're still buying the medications for her diarrhea to help stop it. I mean, one bag, an 8.5-pound bag of the kibble that was supposed to be helping her was $34. 8.5 pounds doesn't go very far for very long. Started feeding the raw meat diet, and I was in my bedroom and I heard this big yelp, and I ran out because Sugar was outside, and she finally had a hard stool and didn't know what it felt like. And from that day forward, she got better, and we weren't going to the vet as often, and I've got 4 healthy dogs, pleased at what I've seen with the raw meat diet. Like I said, I've been doing this for over 12 years. So I highly recommend it if you can. I used to make my own bags, meaning I used to cut my own meats, organs, and hearts and livers and bone, and I used to, do all that. Quite messy. Took a lot of time, and getting the calculations correct was very, strenuous. And then I had to stop doing that because I have a senior dog, Hampton, who has lost a lot of his teeth. Just when we adopted him, he had bad teeth. So we've had to get a lot of those removed. So he can't quite chew the bones. So we need it grinded up. And I found a company. You'd be surprised at talking to your butchers. When we were in Washington State, there was an amazing butcher that actually carried dog food, and they would have it all grinded up, and they would already have the percentages in there. So now I have found, now that we've moved to Tennessee and we're here to stay, come in these, pre-packaged rolls. And for me, that's very easy because one tube will last me a day. So I will chop this into 4 pieces somewhat equally. I have 4 dogs that are somewhat in the same weight classes, but not really. And then I do add a little bit of freeze-dried food on there and fish. So I'll show you that. So this has already got the blend in it. I get the Senior Pro because of the grind of the bone. So the bone is what actually helps give their poop the hardness, and it's needed for them. So anyway, this is the Senior Pro. It's an 80-10-10 complement, meaning just like It's got all the adjusted percentages. I get it shipped to the house, so it comes to my front porch, which is also amazing. So I'm gonna go ahead and feed these guys. Okay, so I've already divided this all up. This is my Siberian Husky Sugar. This is my senior Hampton, the bone in there. So you can see a little chicken foot in there, toe probably. And these two are for my high energy and my Husky Border Collie mix, and then my Black Lab. And the Black Lab loves to just scarf things down, so that's why we have this bowl for her. And this is my mackerel fish that I'm going to be chopping up and putting into their food, which they absolutely love. This is my freeze-dried food. So it's raw chicken, and I also have raw turkey that I do, and I get that from my local farmer in there. So it does freeze-dry very well for me. So the bone fragments are very small, and so it's nothing like you see in these bowls with the chicken fingers. You can see one in there. And then the eggshells. So I have my eggshell powder, and I will be sprinkling that on there. And then I also give them a natural, this is a natural dewormer, Dimentous Earth. Humans can consume it. Just make sure it's food grade. Just be careful. It's very fine stuff. So once you start messing with it, you don't want to inhale it. Very fine, but it is good. It's our natural dewormer because I do not give them heart guard, flea, or tick. And then they will get some spirulina and some turmeric. I also, for natural allergies, two of mine, my senior guy and my Border Collie Husky mix, suffer from some seasonal allergies, so I give them quercetin, just 1 tablet a day. So that'll all be going into their meal. So far we have a couple of ingredients added. As you can see, the quercetin pills in there. Alright. So I've got some more to add. When it comes to the eggshells, I just pour it over their meals, just covering the top. There's really no specific measurement that I use. Now the Dimentous Earth, when I put it on top, I use about a teaspoon. My Husky Sugar gets about a half of that, just because she is smaller. And then everybody else gets about a teaspoon. I go a little less than a teaspoon on most of them. Really, I just want to see that it's in there. Trust me, as you do this for multiple years, you just... I will have some links for you as to how I learned. If you are interested, I'll be more than happy to help you learn. I'll be more than happy to lead you into some groups. But I personally absolutely love feeding the raw meat diet. And I always have everybody waiting so patiently. Not really, but this is our Black Lab Angel. She's the one that gets the maize bowl. This is Midnight, our Border Collie Husky mix, and that's Sugar, our Husky, and Hampton over there. So now what I'm going to do is just, I've got some of my freeze-dried meal. I'm just going to crumble it up and put it on top. I just use it as a little treat topper. They love it. What they put in their bodies is just like, think about what you put in your body and how you feel when you put something into your body that's good and that's not good for you. Again, our vet bills are like slim to none. I can't stress that enough. We save so much money in vet bills. Their coats are amazing. Their energy level is amazing. We have very healthy dogs, and so I just recommend you looking into it. Don't knock it till you try it. And if you do try it, let me know all the benefits. I do not recommend going kibble and raw meat. So if you're going to do raw meat, you do raw meat. You can start it the very next day to the very same day. You just throw out that kibble that sits on your shelves for weeks, days, months, years. And if you ever looked at the ingredients in there, I don't trust it. So this, I know exactly what's going into my dogs, and that to me is the most important. So we're going to end with the mackerel fish. And you can, I get all the mackerel fish, I get all of my fish sources from the same company, but you, again, if you become friends with your local butcher, farmers, you can find this stuff fairly cheap. You'll be surprised on what you can find when you start talking to people. They're like, hey, what kind of scraps can I get from you? Especially your butchers. Bones, fish, you name it. And you'll start learning from other people too, and how they, you know, where they go and who they talk to. Some of the mackerel fish are kind of big, so sometimes I'll have some left over. And again, I've got 4 dogs, and I usually do about 4 to 5 chunks, pieces into their bowls. There are great websites out there that'll calculate this stuff for you, because I've been doing this for so long that I don't need the measuring cups every single time. All right, this is the final bowl. This is Sugar's bowl. As you can see, the fish in there. Okay, and that's Hampton's. He's got the little tail on the fish. And then we got one of the face. And you may say, oh, this looks gross. I'm like, well, dogs are actually descendants of wolves, guys. And I'm sorry, but have you ever seen what they eat when they go outside? Have you ever seen them, what they lick? I mean, losing one to kidney failure, I can't stress enough, it's very important to know what goes in their bodies, just like it's important to know what goes in our bodies. These guys need plenty of exercise, and they get that. And these guys need good food. Good food. Okay, we are ready to eat. And I always make everybody sit, which they are. Everybody's got their spots. Angel, sit. Wait. 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 Take it. Good girl. Sit, Midnight. Wait. Wait. Take it. You can see they are loving it. That's my senior guy. And Sugar's waiting so patiently. Okay, Shug. Good girl. And sometimes she just like sits by her bowl or waits for me to put it down. As you can see, I'll usually just sit it there and she'll get to it eventually. Here she comes strolling. My dogs are loving it. They thrive on it. Love the natural, all natural. So, all right, guys. Jesus saves, and thank you for watching.